Good morning. Welcome to the Happy Harvest Homestead. As I've mentioned in the past, I have to go out of town and leave the homestead for about 5 days. Of course, I do have to leave the homestead a lot, so it's not really surprising that I have to leave again. But what is kind of different about this is that I have not been this far away from our homestead and this area for 4 years. So while I have had to go out of town for a few days before and let other family members take care of things here, I haven't gone very far, except for now where I'm going to go really far away. So it's kind of scary and different because, if something bad happens, I can't just rush back. So it's going to be kind of weird. So we're leaving tomorrow, and I thought that it'd be kind of cool to do a before and after of our homestead. As you know, it's spring, and so plants are growing and things are just beginning, and thankfully it's still March, so we don't have a whole bunch of stuff going on. We don't have baby goats being born yet. We're not planting a ton of seeds yet, but there are some springy things we're doing, and there's always a lot of change on the homestead. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to do a before video, and that's gonna be this video of what everything looks like before I leave, and then 5 days later when I get back, I'll bring you along as I check on the animals and the plants and all that stuff for the first time. Hopefully there's not too much change. I mean, our seedlings will grow a little bit bigger, but I'm hoping there won't be any surprise goat births or rabbit births or dead rabbits or any weird bad thing that I come back to have to fix. So hopefully it's pretty uneventful, but I still think it'd be cool. This will also be a good chance to do kind of an update because, things on our homestead are constantly changing, and it's really hard to make videos about everything all the time. I usually focus on one topic per video so it's not scattered and weird, but there are a lot of things that I haven't been able to film about that are happening, so this will give me a good chance to update you guys on kind of everything. Okay, so one thing that we changed, and that is new in here, is you can see we took down the bit of plastic mesh that we had up here. We had it up because our turkeys would come in here every once in a while and they could fly, so they'd fly over this super low wall. And whenever we had chickens in here, they did the same thing. But since then, we have stopped raising chickens in here. Now we just have the goats and the rabbits, and we butchered all our turkeys, and we're not going to raise turkeys anymore. So we just left it up because it was part of the homestead. I didn't think about it until just recently. I was like, this is super annoying. You have to duck under it every time you open the door. So I just took it down, and it looks really weird and different, but it is so much nicer to not have to duck each time you go through this. Though I still kind of feel weird not ducking because I've been doing it for so many years. So it's definitely an adjustment, but it's a good adjustment. Now we come to the rabbits. In some really good news, we have had no further deaths with these rabbits. No one else has died of the weird illness thing we've been dealing with. It's seeming more and more like the illness is petering out and stopping. You guys might notice that a few rabbits still look kind of skinny. Ronwin kind of looks skinny, Zuzu. But Elodie and Ivy still look really great. And if you guys might see, look at Acrobat. She used to be super skinny, and I thought she was gonna die any day. And I really thought about culling her because I was like, oh, I'm putting her through so much pain and hurt. I really did think about culling her several times and putting her out of her misery. But I'm so glad I didn't, because look at her. She is getting thicker again. She got really skinny, and now she's recovering all by herself. I didn't treat her or anything. So this makes my heart so happy, and it's a testament that I am doing things the correct way to get hardy rabbits. I'm not making them suffer unnecessarily. That makes me so, so happy. Other than that good news, there's not much really to update about the colony. We still have our basic setup. We have no more litters though, so we're still waiting on litters, which makes me kind of sad. But I can still glory in the fact that a lot of our breeders are still healthy or getting more healthy, so we just have to continue to recover. And then Ivanhoe, as you can see, he's kind of still a little skinny, but he hasn't gotten any more skinny or anything like that, and he's still locked up outside of here. I think it's been a week or two since we put Ronwin back in here. Yeah, I guess it has been 2 weeks or something. So we still have a few weeks. If he bred any does successfully on the day he was put in, even that the earliest date possible we could possibly have babies is still a few weeks away. And it's also possible that the does didn't let him breed them, or they're not letting any buck breed them at all, or they made him wait a few weeks to even start breeding. So I don't really know. One thing with the colony is that it's hard to tell who was bred when. So I'm just going to have to keep waiting and seeing for babies. I have a for sure date of when possibly I might be able to expect some, but that date's not really for sure at all. So though these rabbits don't have much going on or much different, the new rabbits we got, I have a whole bunch of updates about them. Okay, let's talk about the little girls in the hutch. There are 3 left. You already saw in a previous video that Edelweiss sadly passed away from bloat. Thankfully, no other rabbits, not even little Lavender, has passed away from bloat or died of anything. They look normal and healthy and are acting normal, eating fine, running around. It makes me so happy. You may notice I put this thing back on so they have a little bit more shelter from the wind and cold. It was super warm and spring-like, and then we had a snowstorm, and then it's warming back up. But I kind of just, because I'm gone, I'd rather be safe than sorry and leave that up there for them. I'd rather them be a little bit too hot than accidentally have them be too cold, because I'm not here to, judge and evaluate what's too cold and what's too hot. Something else I decided to do was, these rabbits technically aren't in quarantine anymore. Hey, Lav. But before I talk about that, can we just appreciate how big they are getting? Look at you, Lavender. You're getting so big. Oh my gosh. Then here comes Leah. She's the most adventurous one. Hi, Leah, Jezalia. And even Isaly. They're getting so big. It might be hard for you guys to tell, but I can totally tell. And Islanzati's coloring is coming in a little bit more now that she's getting a little bit bigger. And it does look more black than chocolate, so I'm assuming she's a broken black Japanese harlequin. So they're all doing good. Let's check on the new tractor rabbits. And I guess while I walk, I can explain my decision to not quarantine them anymore. So I know I told you that I was quarantining them for 30 days, to make sure they weren't sick before putting them with the other rabbits. And that was my full intention, and I really did honestly try as hard as I could to do that. But it ended up being really hard, especially with tractors. I'd move the tractor, but in order to move the tractor, I would have to step where they were last time. So if they were sick, I would be stepping on the infected ground, then using those same shoes to walk into the meat rabbit colony, and then I would touch the meat rabbit colony stuff, and then touch the Angora. So technically, if they were sick, I was spreading their germs to other rabbits, even though I was trying really hard not to. And with moving the tractors and stuff, I didn't really see a good way to not do that. I guess I could have disinfected my shoes every time, twice a day, but that was a little much. And also, by the time I realized that was happening, it already been happening for a whole bunch of days. So I ended up deciding to just fully unquarantine them. They are acting healthy, looking healthy, no one is sick or anything. So I don't have a clean hand and dirty hand anymore. It's just all the rabbits. I'm touching them with the same hands. I'm not washing my hands or my shoes in between or anything like that. They are being separate from the other rabbits still though, because I still need to adjust them to our special diet. Also, I'm going on a trip, so if I put them in the colony and then left for multiple days, I couldn't watch them and make sure things are going okay, which I really want to do. So I will for sure wait to introduce anyone into the colony new until I get back from our trip. I'm not entirely sure if this is good news or bad news, but neither Ladybug or Cattail, who are the 2 new does who are old enough to give birth and are possibly pregnant, neither of them have had babies. I don't even know if they are pregnant or not. I've never seen Onyx actually successfully breed them. Oh, maybe we will right now. He's trying. See, she doesn't let him. It could be that, Cattail's already pregnant and she's not letting him breed her because she's already pregnant, or she does not want to be pregnant, so she's just not letting him breed. But I'm just accepting it. I'm just going to go with the flow and see what happens. Then, as she's gotten older, just in the few weeks we've had her, Ash's coloring has come in so much more. Look how much more silver ticking is on her. Isn't she just beautiful? Oh my gosh, I think she is gorgeous. When we got her, she was mostly a solid gray with patches of silver ticking, and I was hoping that as she matured that she would get more silver ticking and become more and more like her dad. Her dad was a very similar color. And it looks like I was right because she is so pretty now. See the silver everywhere around her? I think it's just gorgeous. I am in love with her coloring. In other good news, we haven't had like any fighting or like wounds or anything in here. It's seeming like just recently Sterling is acting more buck-like towards these two does. Sterling and Constance, the two broken ones, are full siblings from the same litter, and they are each about 4 months old. Then Asha's a bit younger, she's like 2 or 3 months old. Well, I guess it'd be that and a couple weeks, because they've had them for a few weeks. So they are like just coming to about breeding age, at least Sterling is. I know some doe rabbits can get pregnant as early as 3 months old, but in my experience, my does usually wait until they're like 5 months old, or like sometimes like 6 or 8 months old. So he's starting to like try to breed, and they're really not having it at all that I've seen. But that's normal and expected. So the meat rabbit colony is doing good. The 3 new hutch girls are doing good. And these 2 groups of new tractor rabbits are also doing good. While we're down here, just look at how happy this is going to make me. Look at this. Oh my gosh, guys, look at it. It's like the first one. We have, so these started popping up a few weeks ago, and I was just over the moon. Super happy. These are, if you can't tell, these are daffodils, and they're one of the first signs that spring is here. So for a while we've just had just these, right? And then I got super excited because I was seeing these little buds, and I was super excited about that. But now, like just today, look, it's starting to open and be an actual daffodil. I'm really sad that I'm gonna miss the actual like first bloom of daffodils because I'm gonna be gone. And if this one's just starting, it's likely that the other ones won't be far behind. So when I get back, there will probably be a whole bunch of open daffodils. So I'm sad I'll miss that. But at least one of them, the day before I'm leaving, is starting to open as an attempt to say goodbye. And similar to the daffodils, we're having all sorts of tiny little wild onion and clover and dock. Ooh, look, some plantain, all manner of little things starting to pop up because it's spring. Here's some purple dead nettle and little, I think this is speedwell, but they're so pretty. Look at this flower. It's tiny purple, purpley blue flowers. Tiny. Oh my gosh. It's signs of spring, guys. It's spring. Look at all this. It's all this little baby things popping up. This makes me so happy. I don't really have much to update you guys about the chickens. We still have 2 roosters and a whole bunch of hens, about like 27 chickens total. I think it was about like last week or maybe like a week and a half ago, we collected their fertile eggs and started incubating them. Sorry about this wind, guys. Oh my gosh. I am documenting that process, and it's going to come out like all in one video later, so it's in the works but not like out yet. But I did do that, and I might show you guys the eggs in a little bit. There's not really much to see, it's just eggs in an incubator. And then the Angoras are similar to the chickens. Not much to update you guys about. With this more spring-like weather, they've been able to exercise a whole bunch more. And today is Jolte's day, so she's not in her cage. She's out on our deck exercising. But Sylvan had his day yesterday, so he's in here today. Let me show you Jolte exercising. Of the 2 Angoras we have, she's the more scaredy one. So let's see if we can find her. Sylvan is super friendly. He'll come up to you, eat from your hand, but Jolte is scared of people. Hi, Zizi. Usually she does most of her running around when I'm not out here. And she'll like hide over here whenever I am out here. So not much is happening. Still just feeding and watering and exercising them. I mean, we are grooming them and getting some fiber, but that's not really out of the ordinary either. No special things like breeding them or having babies or anything fun like that yet. Same with the goats. Nothing exciting happening yet. An emphasis on yet. You know that our 3 does are pregnant, and they're due in April, and right now it's the middle of March. So we just have a little over 2 weeks until our first of our mamas, Millie, she's eating hay over there, is possibly going to give birth. So thankfully we were able to plan our vacation right on time to be just before we have babies. Before I put them out this morning, I took pictures of all the does' udders. We are still trying to dry Penny off. Many months ago, she started producing milk without being bred or having babies. She had a precocious udder, and we milked her for a while, but then she got pregnant and we're trying to dry her off, and it's not really working very well. I don't know if that's common for goats with precocious udder or if we're just doing a bad job, but when we dried Millie off like regular, they went pretty smoothly, but Penny's not going that easy, so we'll have to see how that plays out. But while we are hoping for Millie and Tessa's udder to grow, we're hoping that Penny's udder will shrink. Tessa is a first-time mama, so her having hardly any udder is super normal. Millie's had babies before, so it's normal for her udder to be, bigger. But no one's really filling up a whole bunch yet. But I don't know, Tessa, you could see a tiny bit of an udder on her, maybe like a little bit. So look out for a lot of pregnant goat and expecting mothers and giving birth and baby kids videos in the upcoming month or so. Now I've brought you inside to see one of the most happiest things. Speaking of plants and how they're growing, look at these tiny seedlings. Aren't they so happy? We didn't actually plan on having seedlings. We had put some, I think it was calendula and toothache plant seeds in the fridge to be like a fake overwintering before we planted them. But they ended up sprouting in the fridge, which was kind of weird. So we rescued them and put them in pots. That happened about 2 days ago. And like these biggest ones were about like this big, and now it's like 2 days, and it's been so fun to watch them go from this to this in just like 2 days. It's amazing. And then this little guy is like starting to grow. He was just a regular seed, and now he's starting to get a little white thing coming out. So, oh, and look, here's another one. So I don't know if having them on a wet paper towel in the fridge for so long like helped them start growing. I don't know, but I feel like seedlings don't usually grow like this fast. I feel like I'm waiting and waiting for like a long time before they like start to sprout. But these guys are growing so fast, and once they are up, like they're actually getting big like before your eyes. Usually I feel like you plant seeds and you're super excited, and then like you wait for 2 weeks, and then they start to grow, and then they're tiny seedlings for so long, and you're waiting for them to get bigger and bigger, and then finally they start to grow big and, make progress that you can see. But these guys are going so fast. And then here are the eggs. They're just sitting there. Like, they're not getting to the cool stage where they're, like, cracking or hatching or anything like that. That's, like, several weeks away still. So this will conclude the before and after our trip little mini-series. I don't know really what to call it. We got a good look at seedlings and daffodils about to flower and goat udders and how we have no rabbit babies and no dying rabbits. Hopefully when we get back we will have bigger flowers, bigger seedlings, bigger udders, well I guess smaller udders in Penny's case. And I guess it wouldn't be that bad if we had rabbit babies, although I would like to be here and like be able to monitor them myself. But our other family members are probably going to do just fine. And hopefully we do not have any dead rabbits or rabbits who are more sick than when we left. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Thanks for watching!